What's cracking, guys? Omar Isov here in this video today answering a very important question. How much muscle can you build naturally? This is a follow-up video to a very popular video that I made several weeks ago discussing the difference between someone that uses steroids and someone that does not. And the problem I saw, a lot of people were like, oh man, should I even stay natural? It seems like you can't build an aesthetic physique. In this video today, I'm going to answer that question, and shortly I'll say yes, I believe everyone can build an aesthetic physique. So first we're going to answer how much muscle can you naturally build, what's the upper limit, and then how much muscle can you in particular build, as well as finally answer that age-old question, can you be aesthetic naturally? So let's get into it. A little bit of a history lesson we have to go into. When did steroids first come about? Well, the first injectable testosterone was founded in 1935. Before that, there's no steroids. So it's safe to assume any physique prior to 1935 was 100% natural. And we have a lot of evidence of some really great physiques. Eugene Sandow, Bobby Pandor, Ernest K. Dean. I'm going to put up at least 8 images of different lifters with very aesthetic physiques. Now, these lifters didn't even know what testosterone or steroids were, yet they had very aesthetic physiques. Steroids only became available once they were manufactured in Mexico, essentially, about 1945, and it was in the West Coast. So it's pretty much, we could be very skeptical. Anyone prior to 1935, steroid free. 1945 and before, a very, very high likelihood that they also were steroid free. We have a lot of different lifters out there that we can observe that have fantastic physiques, and they achieve these naturally, something that we can aspire towards. And really, when people always call it the half natty or, oh man, I don't know if that person's natural or not, they're talking about their fat-free mass index. So let's talk about what's possible naturally and what's not possible. The big landmark study took 74 individuals and they measured their fat-free mass index. They took the average and they found that the upper limit was this number, 25. And so they assumed that no one can achieve a fat-free mass index of over 25. But actually, what we did, we took the numbers and we inputted it in those natural physiques prior to 1945, those guys that were definitely steroid-free, and we discovered that the average corresponded, right, about 25, which would make sense, but the highest actually was about 27.3. So the study does coincide with what we find studying 1939 to 1944, that these individuals were natural, but the upper limit might be a little higher than we assumed. What does this really mean for the individual when we're so concerned, is this person natural or not? Well, we kind of got to talk about genetics, and we have to say that guys like Bobby Pandor and Eugene Sandow, they were elite at the upper limit. I'm talking 1 in 100,000 their physique. Bobby Pandor, his legs, he has very aesthetic legs. You know what he did to train his legs? Nothing. His only training for his legs, reportedly, what he said himself, was carrying his brother up a couple flights of stairs every single night. That's it. That's why when I say elite genetics, that's what I'm talking about. If we take a look at genetics in general, it kind of follows this normalized distribution. And what that means essentially is that for 99% of us, over 99% of us, we're relatively similar, right? Some of us might have slightly better genetics, some of us might have slightly worse, but we fall within this pool, this confidence interval. Most of us will be relatively genetically the same. Now, there are outliers, what I'd call elite genetic athletes or individuals that go beyond this, and that's when we talk the 1 in 10,000, 1 in 100,000 that will reach this upper limit, this 27.3, this level seen in guys like Jack LaLanne. So while it might not be attainable for everyone naturally, those upper limits, it's something we can aspire towards because we know that those people were not taking steroids. And I think the biggest point I want to emphasize after showing you guys all these photos, talking about when steroids were founded, talking about the fat-free mass index, is that it's not genetics that limit any of us, right? So don't be discouraged, like, oh man, my fat-free mass index, oh, this input. It's effort. Effort's everything. Most of us will never reach our genetic limit. So it's not our genetics that are limiting us, it's our own effort consistently over time. In fact, what I'm gonna say, to flip this all around, to make us all feel good on that natty train, a link in the description once again for that guy, Casey Butts, where you're going to input, and it's a very good, very accurate estimator of your total maximum potential. You can input your stats and you'll find out your maximum potential. For me, it says lean, I can achieve over 17-inch arms. Right now, I'm at 16 1/4, so I'm not even near my final form. I have a lot of room to grow. So I think it's a misnomer. It can be discouraging when we talk about genetics, we talk about being natural, and we assume, oh, we can't really build an aesthetic physique. We have tons of examples of guys, even though they might have been, genetically elite, that built great physiques. Maybe they're training, quite honestly, like Bobby Pandor for his legs. It wasn't optimal, so there's a lot of room for us to grow, and we can still build, as everyone, I'm talking about this 99% confidence interval, except for Captain No Games over here, can build a great physique. That's it, and that's the video. Check the links in the description. A huge shout out to my boy Alan Aragon and Eric Helms, who penned this latest article about how much muscle you could build naturally out of the AARR. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like the damn video, and I'll be seeing all you guys, happy Halloween, in the next video. Peace.